Hey people, this is going to show you how the ancient alchemist mind worked. And it's going to show, their learning process. I would usually go back, I learned so much doing this, I would usually go back and edit a lot of stuff out. But I thought I'd just show you, how I learned while reading this, how it all came together, and how I figured out what was going on by the end. I don't even know where this video is going. I just want to get started here where I run into this. I was searching this word, the Hannah. I did a movie, Hannibal, the other day. I want to get a better idea of what this word means. Here they say, in fact, there is. But every time it comes up, they say it means behold or nothing, behold. And there's a whole bunch of words they'll say mean behold. A whole bunch of way different words in many categories. But a woman who is a medium, this is a set. AS, the little dot up here makes an E after ASET. A set or Aset. And this is, they say, is Isis. Isis, Egyptian Aset or Iset. One of the most important goddesses. And everybody thinks of it as Isis. And the Aset, the Et is here, the Et. The Et is the female counterpart. And so this, would mean queen. This is the throne, and this is the female counterpart. So this would mean queen. And many names, SC. And SC, that was the 6th day. So that makes me think, the 6th day was Friday. And that was Freya, to the Nordic. And that's Venus, and it was also the god of death, in winter, when everything dies off. And you see the markings in this Greek up here, and so it says it reads backwards, but it's the sister, SIS, the sister. So that tells me, yes, she was in the priestly class. She was a sister, and so the wave would be above the I here. There's no room to put it, and so it was reread Isis, is sis, and to assist. So I've been reading the dot in the center of the letters as a double letter, and I got to thinking, in the S they say it means add a H, and I say a H or a E, and in the tet, they say add a H or a H or a E is what I say, and so I got to thinking, I think that all these letters mean add an E after it, and so I've been reading as a single N and followed by an E. But a woman who is a medium is an asset, B, and BE or BHOLT in Holt, behold. The asset behold. And then backwards and forwards, VU, and then AV of, and then B is in. The asset behold the view of in. And that's what mediums do, they're viewers. They see into the future. And so a woman who is a medium is an asset to behold the view of in. And it starts and said Saul to his servants, find me a woman who is a medium, an asset behold the view of in, that I may go, WALK, the walk, the ally, ALIE, the ally, the walk, the ally, to address, ADRSE, to address, to inquire, to address, to address, would be she's an asset to behold the view of in, so her address would be an honorable term, a ma'am, the address. And then the dot, it's either a E or a H. I'm thinking it's a H-E, a he, to address he. And to address he have, address is also the place where it's going. To he have, he, the via more, the highway, we, abid you, alive, A-L-I-V, alive, A-L-I-V-E, alive in he, the dot, H-E, he, a set, he, as it, A-S-E-T, as it, a set, behold, the view of in. And then be oyen, they always say this means to see. And they just went in and didn't give it a number now, because they know that it never means that. It always means to see. The view of in, to see. And so maybe it's talking about looking at her ass, walking, The view of in, oyen, oyen is to see in. And so the dot in the D, would be DEVIR. And so they're reading this, the BO is at, and then the IN, they're putting that here with this, endure. Endure is strength, to last, to endure. And Dora is like adore. It's just going to be another one of them words they say is a gift of God, a gift, adore. She's a gift. In seeing D through HUR, and seeing through her. And so Lucky Truth says, I interpret this a little different. And, that's the way old poetry was, and new poetry, even the new poets, and then people read it and interpret it different ways. And all I'm showing is the one they're coming up with is just too far off. They tried to misinterpret these words that we know what they mean. So, an asset is not a woman. An asset is a good woman. They're not all asset. Some of them are a problem. And in Holt is not who is. In Holt is one that you have. An asset that you have. The view of in. And so it looks more like you're looking at the asset. The asset in Holt of view of in. The walk. And maybe that's holy. HOLY. The walk of holy. Who address he. She's walking like an angel. And he addressed her. Have he. Backwards and forwards. Have he. The via more. The way of high to. The way of high. We of dive. Of dive. Alive. In he a set. In Holt. The view of in. Be eyeing. Be seeing through her. So this asset might not be a woman at all. It's the power to consume, and then add a E, the it. The it is the feminine part. And so the power to consume, you just add a H to all these words, start with a vowel, and has it. He has it. He's got the power to consume it. And so what I do know is there is no proper names in here unless it's God's. There's no proper names in the Bible. And so this looks more like, the SH, with the dot, SHAUEL, the shoal. And the shoal is the ancient word for heaven, and it's where life is created, down at the shoal, in the warm, shallow waters where everything comes, breeds and feeds, leave their eggs there because there's much food and little predators. And so via more, the way of high heaven, lovey, the diamond over the D has you move the I over, LOVI, of lovey-do. That's something that you call your wife when you're young. Oh, lovey-do. In the way of high heaven, lovey-do. Because WHYLY, wily. Because wily. Wily is like wily coyote. Because be wily, crafty. Be wily, has it. Via more, the way of high heavens, lovey-do. Because wily has it. Be Holt, the view of in. Walk holy, who address he have. The via more, the way high, we of dive, alive, and he has it in Holt. And this is we're looking at that in Hannibal. The word bowl is a lord, and when it's feminine, they add an E on the end, not a T. But yeah, this could be, ball as the Lord et, the feminine Lord, and has it in holt. The view of in be seeing through her. And yeah, that's what you do with a medium is, in seeing through her. You're trying to see into the future through her. And so this via more, and said, is through the way through how it got there from a high place. And it means, what the stars say, via more heavens, lovey-do. And so it's like he's looking for a sign from the heavens of lovey-do, because Wiley has it behold in the view of in the walk holy who address he have via more he the way from a high place we of dive alive and he has it in hope to view of in seeing through her. And so this E-N-E, and I'm pretty sure this "een" has to do with the suffix in chemicals, which still could mean several different things. And it would be spelt with the Y or the I, for a double bond. And so you have to be a chemist to figure that out. And so that's probably why they just say it means behold, to bond, to behold. And so it's probably a chemist, and he's talking about what he's observing in his lab. And it's the "een," the alive bond has it in hope, the view of in seeing through her. And so that makes me think that this address is also a vader, a vader, to invade, to come in, the vader she, and so the feminine part of the bond had vaded in on the masculine part's territory, the vader she have, he via the way more we of dive, a living has it in hope. And so this, more mean a high place, the more you have, you keep stacking it up, that's the high place. The way more, via more, way more. So this, saw, it looks more like now it's the SHAVEL, the shovel, and way more shovel, lovey-do, because too highly has it behold the view of in, and alka holy, the vader she have he way more we of dive alive een, and live bond has it in hope the view of in bayin through her, a door is, through her. And so, like Asset brought him to his knees, and he is now the view of in baying through her. So if you search for some old alchemist writings, you'll see that this is the way they wrote about their science. They would make stories and give the chemicals, gods and relationships, as into their bonds and how their chemistry works. And I hate to search for anything anymore. Google is so screwed up. And I know they're listening to me all the time because they'll show me stuff that I was talking about with somebody else that I didn't even search for. But yeah, these old chemists would write these stories, and it was all the sciences and arts together, the chemistry and astrology, and they would talk about their love all at the same time. And so they have to twist up all these meanings every time a word comes, because even though they twisted them all, somebody would probably catch on if they would just stick to one meaning. You can see in this walk that I may go that it can be and go, or then I will follow, or just go, or depart, or 2 months along. That 2 months that I may go just didn't fit there. And you can see where they try to keep the may go term in there, and it just don't make no sense. My ways send may go to my master. But in chemistry, a medium, coming from Latin meaning the middle, is the phase in which the chemical species and their reactions are studied in a particular investigation. And this because meaning to find, this is in the fish. And the fish is this symbol, that means proportion to. And it looks like this reaction was going on via, through a marsh, M-R-S-H, the marsh, the power, W-E-L, the marsh well, abide you, O-B-I-D, and you is you for in a personal way. When you're talking to somebody you love, you would write it like that, you. In the fish, in proportion of Willie has it in halt of the medium, in the A, the power connected in the medium, and backwards to view of in. And alky, that's a short pet name for an alchemist, that I may go, and into alky. And it's this is the verb part. The mist is, the ist is the one that does that, and the alky is the verb part of the name, like the job part of the name. Like a dent, a tooth, and ist is the person that does that. A chem, to divide from, ist, an arsonist, the fireist. And so I may go, is in the alky, a lie, Vader, she, have, he, via, morrow, the way tomorrow, of do, a precipitant, alivine, has it in halt, the view of in seeing, through her. And if you click here for the chapter, it'll give you some clues. It'll be easier to figure out what it is. And especially if you read the first paragraph and the last paragraphs of a chapter, it'll give you better clues. And yea, in Hymes, these who covets to place it highs. That's where your base word plastics come from. Something that's malleable. Its mind commonize. Lets its bail the less. And this fight, it comes from the word alchemy. And it'll be, the L-C-H-M. Except it'll be followed with the E. Without the E, this is a S. The less. Be as roll. Via more. The way of more. A kaisel. And backwards. Divide wood. The way maracas all divide wood. I do. This is the word for to know, and they give this to do also know, same word. And so anytime they double up words like that, they'll say the first one's very or surely or something like that. And they usually say just the dot is to know or knowledge. And with the dot in there, it's the E, and it's to make dote, an antidote. Add a key, to add here, at hit it so, in machine, to the battle. Alchemy is the war and the battle is the machine. 8 who on shit. And this line that I read was called Saul in the medium of Ender. And so it's the medium of Ender here. And down here it's at Ender, a tender. And so disguised himself Saul, and put on clothes other, and went he and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, conduct a seance, please, for me, medium, and bring up for me the one I shall name to you. And so he brought 2 men with him, so it's going to be a triple bond, like a benzene. And so now, the "een" turned into look. What hammer the ass is. He alivine. 8 the at hide at hat. Assure this whose shovel. Assure the crit. At 2 vests of what. The medium is now is a 2 vests of what. And what didn't add ye idoni, men shares arts, will me atom 10 fish, been fishy, limit in, to cause me to die, the limit in, limiting. And when you get to the end, you can see it's talking about a fumit. And what is bitch who would fuck? Come fame, what tells. What's the few mix it's what? The unleavened bread is the mix it's what? And what the gas of the penil, backwards, of the penil was all, will place of dew, who a cull to, who fume to, will cue Belial, the dreams of the who. So they say Belial is the devil, and will cue the devil, the have. And so it looks like they're cooking up a tryptamine, 3, trip, amine, the 3 bonded. And so I had cooked up a tryptamine one time, and a lot of people say you see the devil. I didn't see the devil, though. My trip was good. And, this trip is what the gas of pineal, P-N-I-L, the pineal was, of 2. They'll say the L is 2. It's actually of. And so this really helped out with this word, via more. When I first started doing this, I broke everything down to letter meanings, and it's, connected work, knowledge, to make the knowledge from begin. And so the via more, would be the medium you're working in, to begin with. The via through, the more, and then what kind of more? The marsh of Elov, the marsh of Elobi dew. I don't know what a Elobi is, but a dew is a precipitant that was taken from it. And so it's the beginning, the via through the marsh of Elobi dew, the precipitant, in fish, in proportion to willy acid. And I believe this is where your word ist comes from, as in the Alchemist. You see it in this name for Isis, just ist. And it has it in halt, in view of, in the median, in the view of, to Alka, holy, of holy. And so it wasn't the Vader, she, but it was Vaders, it was plural Vaders. And then, the he, the Vaders, he, the plural Vaders, the 3 Vaders. To have, the HVE, the dot gives it an E, to have, and then to have the via more to, the medium that you started with, and having more to of dew, of precipitant, of olivine, has it in the halt, the view of in, be seeing, be oyen, be seeing through, EUR, DEUR, DHUR, be seeing through her. And so you have different kind of alchemies, and so in via more, through from the begin, the soul of lovey-do, the soul of the lovey precipitant. And so in the beginning it starts with the alchemy of the allies. The allies are the knowledge in the heavens, via more, through the more, through begin with the allies. And the self-alchemy doesn't start till on the second page in Genesis 2:18. So now it's the via more, through from to begin of you, self-alchemy. Via more you, the allies low in width of, the low voodoo in. And so this really helped to expand my mind in what this via more means, to yammer and said. And it brought me back, 5 years ago when I was reading this, and that's what I was seeing, was to make the knowledge from the begin, and when you start here.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
All right, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.